Good morning, boys and girls. I hope everyone is doing well today. Um, we are going to be doing a read aloud of a book called Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus by Mo Williams. And before we start reading this, I first want to focus on, um, so sorry, brain fart. All I really want to focus on today is the questions and the educated guess that you guys might have on today's read aloud. So students will ask and answer questions using the illustrations to describe um, how the pigeon is feeling and to understand the events that is going on in the book. Okay, so let's get started. Again, the book is called Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus by Mo Williams. He also illustrated the book. Does anybody here know what illustrate means? Okay, illustrate means the cartoons, the drawings, the paint, the pictures that's going on in the book. So let's take a look more into that. All right, so this would be illustration. So you see what's going on here? We have a pigeon and we have buses. Why do you think we have buses? What do you think is going on? The pigeon wants to drive the bus? Yeah, sounds like. Could be. Now, can pigeons drive a bus? No, right? All right, so let's see what's going on. All right, so here we start with our first page. Let's see. Hi, I'm the bus driver. Listen, I've got to leave for a little while. So can you watch things for me until I get back? Thanks. Oh, and remember, don't let the pigeon drive the bus. Now, let's take a second and look at this. Why do you think the bus driver is saying, don't let the pigeon drive the bus? Yes? All right. So that means that we have an important job as readers to figure out what might happen. Why is the bus driver saying, don't let the pigeon drive the bus? Has this happened before? So while he's gone, let's pay close attention to the pictures and what the pictures are telling us. And I'm also gonna assume, well, let's see. What do you think the main rule here is? The main rule is to not let the pigeon drive the bus. And I'm gonna remember that. All right, so here are more pictures. We see the bus driver walking away from the bus. Oh, and look who we have here. What is this? We have a pigeon creeping in. I thought he'd never leave. Uh-oh. What we have going on here? Hey, can I drive the bus? No, I have a question for you guys. Do you think the pigeon is asking us instead of the bus driver? And what does that tell you about the pigeon? So why is the pigeon asking us if he could drive the bus when he knows the bus driver already said no? Does he think that we're going to say yes? Please. Oh, so now the pigeon's asking please. It's saying please. I'll be careful. Now, do you think the pigeon would really be careful? What do you think from the picture tells you that the pigeon is going to be careful? Yes. The pigeon is saying please. Okay. So the pigeon is showing sympathy, empathy, I mean. All right, let's finish reading and take a look. I'll tell you what. I'll just steer. Now, who knows what steer means? Okay. So steer means to turn the wheel. So you see when mommy and daddy are driving the car, when the bus driver is driving the bus, steer means you are turning the wheel one way or the other, pointing the direction the car wants to go. So if you see mom and dad or even the bus driver making a left, they're going to steer the wheel all the way to the left, so that way the bus goes to the left. So what do you think the pigeon is asking here? The pigeon is asking, I'll tell you what, I'll just steer. What do you think the pigeon just wants to do? Right, the pigeon just wants to move the wheel left, right, or straight. My cousin Herb drives the bus almost every day. I don't think that's true, but we'll see. True story. Do you think this pigeon believes him? No, I don't think. You guys don't think so, right? All right, well, let's see. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Vroom, vroom. Pigeon at the wheel. This is an odd thing to say for a pigeon. No, I never get to do anything. Oh, no. So now he's sad. Why do we think he's sad? Because he's not, well, because he's not supposed to drive the bus, right? So let's see. Hey, I've got an idea. Let's play Drive the Bus. I'll go first. So now the pigeon thinks that this is a game. Now the pigeon thinks that driving the bus is a game, and he's going to try to beat the other pigeon to do it first. Look at him peeking right here. Come on. Just once around the block. I'll be your best friend. How about I give you $5? No fair. I bet your mom would let me. What's the big deal? It's just a bus. I have dreams, you know. Fine. So, from all these little pictures and the pigeon's behavior and body language, what do you think is going on? You think the pigeon is upset because the pigeon realizes that the pigeon can't drive the bus? I think so too. And I think the pigeon is really trying his hardest to drive the bus by saying all these things, right? Let me drive the bus! So now he's angry. Now the pigeon is upset. Well, why do you think the pigeon is so upset? Because nobody is letting him drive the bus. I can see from the pictures he's yelling, his mouth is wide open, because he's not getting his way. I'm going to remember this part, and when I think about the pigeon and how the pigeon is feeling, and how the pigeon's feelings have changed throughout the book. Now, how have you guys noticed the pigeon's change in behavior? What is his body language saying about how he's feeling? What are the words, "Let me drive the bus," show how the pigeon is feeling? He's angry, right? Okay, good job. Yeah, he is angry. He seems to be very emotional because he can't drive the bus. Well, let's see. Uh-oh. Somebody looks sad. And what do you think all this stuff means? I think it means that he has a lot in his mind right now. What do you think it means? All right. So let's finish going on. I'm back. You didn't let the pigeon drive the bus, did you? Great. Thanks a lot. Uh-oh. So now the bus driver came back. Did the pigeon get to drive the bus at all? No. So did the other pigeon do his good job by not letting the pigeon drive the bus? Okay. Bye. Here goes the bus driver back on his bus. And then we have the sad little pigeon here. Aww. Hey. What do you guys think this is? So the bus left. What do you think this is now? I think it's a tractor. It looks like a tractor. But let's see. It's a whole bunch of trucks. What do you think the pigeon is thinking here? Yep. Now the pigeon sees a truck and his eyes look excited. See how his eyes got open like that? He's excited. I think the pigeon is already trying to move on to his next idea, which is to drive a truck. But this shows that the pigeon doesn't really understand rules. Because do you think pigeons can drive anything? No. Okay, and that is the ending of our book. Good job, ladies and gentlemen. So now we are going to go back to our seats and we are going to do an activity. Today's activity, we are going to be speaking about, my apologies. So I'm going to be giving you guys a few questions and we're going to relate the questions to the book. My first question is, do you think there was a time where you couldn't do something but you wanted to really bad? How did that make you feel? And what did you do? All right, so just think about how the pigeon could have felt. The pigeon really wanted to drive the bus, but he wasn't allowed to. How did that make him feel at the end of the book? And following up with that question, how did the pigeon's behavior change throughout the book? Was the pigeon always happy? Was the pigeon always sad? Was the pigeon always angry? Or was it a combination of three? All right, so we're gonna look back at the book to kind of inference that. And then we're also gonna think about, what does the author, Mo Willems, who wrote the book, what do you think Mo Willems wants us to learn from reading this book? What do you think the author wants us to feel but also know from this little lesson here? Okay. As we're doing that, you guys are going to draw a picture of how the pigeon felt. Or how would you feel as a pigeon if you were in the situation where you really wanted to do something but you couldn't? How would you feel? Act like you're a pigeon and draw your emotions. And then I also want you to, I think the pigeon learned blank. I learned that blank. And in the sheet, you have three new words that we got from the book: promise, beg, and responsible. You are going to match the pictures to each word. So for example, what do you think the pigeon is doing here? Do you think the pigeon is begging, being responsible, or making a promise? The pigeon is begging. What do you think the pigeon is doing here? Do you think the pigeon is really going to be careful? Is the pigeon showing that he is going to be responsible? Where do you feel like the pigeon might be responsible if we give him a chance to steer the bus, to drive the bus? And the last one is promise. Do you think the pigeon looks promising as far as being careful driving the bus? All right, so you guys are going to match all these words that I gave you, responsible, promise, and beg, to each picture that is on the worksheet. And you're going to show me what you think the pigeon is being responsible when the pigeon makes a promise, and how the pigeon, or when the pigeon is begging or begs. Okay?